Cartier is one of the most recognizable brands in the world.
Cartier does not replicate its creations. What you're seeing here is one of a kind.
I think it's got to be the strength of the design. They just have mastered the art of less is more.
From a very humble workshop, turned this brand into a global empire.
It's such a rich, expansive exhibition looking at the whole history of Cartier from the beginning of the 20th century right through to the present day.
Hey, this is Elina Reddy and welcome to Foreign Influence.
I even had a moment.
It was like a line in the sand, and I loved every second of it.
I have to work even harder because now I'm
to winning The Voice Australia.
When you have more than one culture in your life,
Heart and soul into that.
Grandiose perspective in your paintings.
We were mostly from migrant families.
Together, we're going to
I guess
My father was a food scientist.
when the missiles started coming in, we could just run and hide in the bunker.
If we show flower,
But they also had mutual admiration.
Hey, this is Elina Reddy and welcome to Foreign Influence. Cartier is one of the most recognizable brands in the world. We are at the National Gallery of Victoria and today we're going to discover how Cartier turned into a global empire from a humble workshop. Amanda, you're the senior curator of National Gallery of Victoria.
That's right.
And as you told me before, you are in charge of the objects.
That's right, the decorative arts, that's right. Yes.
There are a lot of objects at this exhibition.
Absolutely, almost 400 spectacular jewels, yes.
400.
Yes, it's the largest exhibition of Cartier jewels that has ever come to this country.
Well, we're very, very lucky to be a part of that. What do you love the most about the exhibition?
Oh, it's such a rich, expansive exhibition looking at the whole history of Cartier from the beginning of the 20th century right through to the present day. But we really look at that legacy of Cartier's beautiful craftsmanship and the design of their jewels and then that technical innovation. I mean, the way these jewels have been made is just phenomenal. You have to see them, and I guess in preparing for this exhibition, you know, we've spent our time looking at images on, you know, digitally and on paper, and to see the jewels, you know, in the last couple of weeks as they've been unpacked and installed into the exhibition has just been a revelation, because you actually realise, you just see the level of detail in both the design and the making, and they're the sort of objects that really repay close looking. You need to get up close and have a really good look, and then you'll see the thinking and the thought processes that have gone into the creation of these jewels. You'll see the way the diamonds graduate in scale in the tiniest jewels, you know, and then just the way the gems have been set in beautiful different technical settings to make this, you know, whole creation and to put the different gemstones together. They're just quite exceptional pieces. Yeah.
Do you know, Amanda, I always wonder how can something so tiny and so little, like a gemstone, impact on your mood, on how you feel about yourself, about the day, people you're with.
Oh, I know. They're extraordinary objects, really, as gemstones in their own right. And then you put them together, you know, with others, and you put colour together in them, and they come alive even more. They're extraordinary. And I think that's what's such a beautiful aspect of Cartier's jewels, is that those combinations of colours that they've used. And we've got actually quite a focus in the exhibition looking at the colour combinations in Cartier jewels of the early 20th century, particularly from the 1920s and the 1930s. Cartier actually were really renowned for their innovative combinations of colours of different unusual stones that they put together at the same time, as using hard stones and gemstones. We have this wonderful moment in the exhibition that looks at these wonderful combinations of colours, very innovative, unusual combinations like blue and green, red and green, and then black, red and white being diamonds of course, and green, black and white as well. And they're really unusual combinations. No other jeweller was putting these colours together at this time during the 1920s and 30s. And during the 1920s, Cartier also came up with this really unique design style or aesthetic, which is now called Tutti Frutti. That was a name that was given to it. I know, it's a great name. It was given to it in the 1970s, but at the time, in the 20s, these jewels were known by the French word feuillage or foliage. And they are jewels that are made up of actually carved gemstones. So gemstones that are carved in the form of leaves and little berries, and in particular it's the colour combination of red rubies, green emeralds and blue sapphires. These stones are all mounted together with diamonds, of course, in beautiful, quite dense designs of bandeaus and bracelets and brooches. It's a really unique style that Cartier has really continued on to today, actually, and there's a necklace in the exhibition in this style, the Tutti Frutti style, made in the 1930s. It was actually commissioned by a woman, a socialite in Paris called Daisy Fellows. She was the heiress to the great singer sewing machine fortune, and she commissioned really what is regarded still as the most spectacular piece of Tutti Frutti jewellery ever to be made. And the actual, I guess, inspiration of these jewels goes right back to historical Indian jewellery, which traditionally only incorporated rubies and emeralds, but it was Cartier who added the sapphires as well and turned them into something else completely again. So there's this beautiful sort of spectrum of multicoloured gemstones in them.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the family and how they turned from a very humble workshop, turned this brand into a global empire.
Yeah, with pleasure. It's a fantastic story. So the business was established in 1847 by Louis-François Cartier, and he was very successful, but essentially for that last part of the 19th century, they were really a retailing business. But it was the moment really when his three grandsons, that is Louis, Pierre and Jacques, came to join the business and began running the business around the turn of the 20th century, that they really collaborated to transform the business into a global jewellery empire as we know it today, really. And they set out to establish showrooms in 3 different cities. They already had the showroom in Paris, in Rue de la Paix, and in 1902 they established a London firm. They established these 3 showrooms across Paris, London and New York, and really between them, they very strategically set out to establish this global jewellery empire, and they were the first jewellery business to do this actually in the world, really. And you know, the legacy continues today.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, and each of the brothers ran one of the showrooms. So Louis stayed in Paris, Pierre went to New York, and the youngest brother Jacques ran the London business. Yes.
So the whole family
The
were
whole family was
united
involved.
and like
Absolutely.
really involved.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they all had quite unique business skills and aspects to them. So Louis was the ideas man. He was the really creative person who came up with the ideas and really set the design agenda and the design aesthetic for the firm. Pierre was known for his exceptional business skills and really applied those skills in America, particularly in New York, really courting rising industrialists and their wealth. And then Jacques was a gem specialist, really, and he was the one who travelled. He went numerous times to India, the first time in 1911 for the Delhi Durbar, where he was keen to meet some of the major gem dealers, but also to be introduced to the Maharajas in India, you know, that had such extraordinary jewel treasuries there, that in fact he was very successful in gaining their business, and Cartier has had some of the most significant commissions in their history that have come from the Indian Maharajas in the early 20th century.
We are joined by Nick, who is from Hodinkee, Australia watch magazine, and we're standing in front of the watches, Cartier watches.
We are.
What do you think about this watch collection, Nick?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's the largest Cartier exhibition that's ever taken place in Australia. And yeah, we have some truly spectacular wristwatches dating, I think, all the way back to the early 1910s, right up to kind of modern watches in another case. A beautiful example of just kind of how Cartier's design language has evolved, or almost not evolved, because so many of the pieces still look so contemporary. As far as a few favourites, one of the rarest watches in the collection, I would have to say, would be this Cartier Crash from London from the 1960s.
Salvador Dali painting.
Exactly, yeah. It's almost kind of fluid or organic. And as the legend goes, a Cartier customer came to the Cartier London boutique with a damaged watch after a car crash and said, "Can you repair it?" And then apparently the shape of the watch was similar to that. But then obviously, you know, Cartier is so well known for its Art Deco designs and its kind of strong lines and geometry, and you can see that across the rest of the collection with Tank Normals. We have a Tank Guilloche, which is very cool, and also a very, very interesting monopusher chronograph. So that's from 1929, which is absolutely spectacular.
What do you think makes Cartier watches stand out the most?
I think it's got to be the strength of the design. You know, it's very difficult to do simple things well, I think. So yeah, they just have mastered the art of less is more, and you can kind of see that just with how simple some of the designs are, but also how elegant and timeless they are.
Tell me a little bit about your magazine.
Yes, so Hodinkee Australia, we've recently launched. So Hodinkee is an American-based watch publication, the largest watch publication in the world. So we've recently launched in Australia, and yeah, very excited to be a part of the team.
Welcome.
Thank you.
which is called the snake necklace, was commissioned by a Mexican film star in the 1960s from Cartier. It has diamonds more than 178 carats. There are not only diamonds, there is also enamel and gold, and it's very, very sparkling. We've got Nissim here with us, who has a huge involvement in Cartier exhibition. Nissim, please explain your role.
Yes, look, I'm the Senior Learning and Development Manager here at Cartier, and of course supporting the Cartier collection, the winter collections at the NGV. The collection speaks for itself, but of course behind you right here is the ceremonial necklace with that incredible diamond that you see in the center. But this is one of some of the masterpieces that you will encounter throughout the journey.
What is so special about this piece?
That
Apart
they
from
are-
the big sparkly diamonds, of course.
Yeah, look, I think what's incredible is that Cartier does not replicate its pieces, its creations. So what you're seeing here is a one of a kind. And of course, they are linked to royalty and movie stars and celebrities, but prominent people, society in the past. So this is what you will actually discover throughout. The first Cartier style was the garland style, something that you saw in the beginning. And the second big style that came through for Cartier in the early 20th century, which is 1900, is the Art Deco style. This is some of the earlier works that you see here. The Art Deco, what we now known is the modern style. It's a much more conceptual way to showcase jewelry. And of course, these are some of the examples of what Cartier was, really innovating at that particular time, especially through the use of platinum.
Okay.
So Cartier was
because
the first
it's the hardest material, and
Exactly.
obviously not everyone knew how to deal with it.
to deal with it. Absolutely. So Cartier was the first jeweler to incorporate and set and use platinum, into jewelry, because most of the jewelry, or actually, in fact, all of the jewelries that were used, the material that were used at that time were gold and silver, right? And so to revolutionize that and to pioneer that was the Maison's one of the biggest innovations. In this particular room, it's all about the obsession of stones, incredible gemstones that Cartier are using. And we might want to start with this particular necklace that Cartier collection have just recently acquired, and it's called the Sassoon necklace.
Sassoon necklace, I am scared to imagine how many zeros after the digit.
It's actually priceless, to be honest, because it actually belongs to a very famous, prominent family called the Sassoon family. And this just really showcased the use of platinum and how it's set with the diamonds. To use platinum, remember back I said about the innovation of platinum, you will not be able to achieve that with gold. So gold would be a lot more heavier in terms of the materials, whereas platinum, because it's stronger, you use a lot less, which makes the jewelry looks a lot more lighter.
So more sophisticated and refined.
Refined, yes, and lighter. So have a look, and we might get a photo with you here.
Okay, yeah. Nissan, please tell me about Princess Margaret and how does Cartier relate to her?
Yes, well, it goes back to her grandfather, Edward VII, the king, future king of Edward VII. In 1904, he rewarded Cartier as the first royal warrant to be the official jeweler to the British royal family.
Wow, so this was the big ticket.
This was a really big ticket that really paved Cartier as a royal jeweler for not only the British royal courts, but throughout the whole European royal courts and some of the royal courts that are in Asia as well.
Please tell me about the brooch Princess Margaret is wearing on that image.
Yes, so this flower brooch was specially commissioned for the royal family. It's one of her most favourite pieces as well, along with many other brooches that also belong to the royal family. For example, the flower brooch that our late Queen Elizabeth II had with a very famous pink diamond in there. But this brooch obviously belongs to the V&A. So they've, been able to loan this for the NGV itself.
Nissan, why does this necklace have such a funny name, Bib?
Yeah, well, if you look at the design itself, it actually looks like a bib, right?
But mind you, for a 1-year-old or 6 months old, it's a little bit expensive to wear.
It is. I think it's just the name of the actual construction of the style of the necklace. And it's actually a very famous construction by Cartier in terms of the style. But if you look at this, the Duchess of Windsor, most of the actual amethysts belong to him. And he wanted to create and commission a necklace for the Duchess. So we designed this particular bib necklace especially for her. It's an amethyst and turquoise necklace, and you can see all the amethysts are untreated and they're actually almost the same color to each other, which is very rare to find, to create to match it to this level, exactly.
Mesmerized by these spectacular, very shiny and sparkling creations by Cartier as much as I have. And you have to come and see the exhibition at the National Gallery of Victoria.